By the way, this is always how you calculate it, right? Efficiency is always output divided by input requirements to get it. So for us, that's going to be net work divided by Q in. Not Q total, just Q in. Everything else you just releasing back, right? Q in means you're burning fuel or doing something to get it to happen. I think you're doing a heat engine lab tomorrow. Pay close attention to that lab, because it relatively easy experiment, but lots of analysis because we're going through these types of assumptions along the way. So it gets a little bit, you got to really think through it, but it's a good thing because you're going to use hot and cold water and generate work. So basically the same thing as burning gasoline, heating up gases, getting them to do something. So in this case, it's just a horrible looking thing. 34,000 or so, 250 is Q out, Q in. And we're only getting 5,000 joules out of it, so about 14%. I'll take your word on that, sounds about right. Bottom line, wow. How might we improve this before we go this way? How about we pick a system where when you absorb energy, it all goes to work. Can you think about a system where that might happen? When do you have a system whose internal energy doesn't change as heat is absorbed?
Adiabatic, or heat is absorbed.
We already know that's not the case. We've been doing an isobaric here. What does it mean for internal energy to stay constant?
Isothermic.
Isothermic. So how does energy remain constant if work is done on or by a system? How could that happen? You've got to have a flow of energy in or out that directly balances work performed. So in a perfect world, you would design a process that did work isothermically. So all the energy absorbed translates directly to work without any heat gain. Now, you can't have a cyclical process with one stage, right? You got to get back. Well, what about? How might you generate work without absorbing or releasing energy? That's heat.
What?
You can do work without actually absorbing heat. Right? There's a process where there's no heat transfer. Doesn't mean, according to the first law of thermodynamics, that there's no work. Adiabatic. Let a process run adiabatically, and you'll have a work internal energy change. Think about this. This one feels weird. Have you ever noticed, whether it's a hairspray can, whether it's a spray paint can, whether it's a barbecue or a gas barbecue, you know what happens? You ever felt the container when you're spraying? What happens? It gets frigid cold. It's because it's an adiabatic expansion that happens. Takes time for the heat to flow in as the gases are expanding out of the little nozzle. So you can do work. The requirement, though, is that your internal energy drops as much as your positive work is, and vice versa. Weather systems work like that. When you get rapid expansions, lower pressure, temperature drops. That's why we have low-pressure barometric systems that are usually bad weather systems. And then vice versa. When you get rapid compressions, things heat up, pressure rises. Oh, look at that. Warm air, high pressure. Weather. Counterintuitive, but it works. It's not volume, it's not isobaric, not isochoric, it's adiabatic. Diesel engines run that way too. Bottom line, adiabatic processes have no heat transfer one way or the other, regardless of work transformation. Isothermic processes are processes where all energy transformations directly result in work being done. You want to maximize your ability to generate a cycle process. You take two isothermic processes and separate them by two adiabatic processes, but run it clockwise. Call that a Carnot cycle or a Carnot engine. And you just can't get any better than that because all the heat transfer occurs when you're doing positive or negative work and nothing else. It's not realistic because adiabatic processes, in order to have a process that happens with no thermal exchange, it's got to be fast. It's got to outrun thermal conductivity. You think adiabatic, think rapid expansion, rapid compression. Heat doesn't have a time to flow. When you think isothermal, think your Boyle's law experiment. Notice how when you pulled that thing out, you had to wait a second to kind of get the pressure to stabilize? That's because as you expand it, it cools down. But then when you wait and hold it there, it warms back up, and the pressure catches up with the volume change. You were told that. It's an isothermic process when it stabilizes. It's kind of adiabatic along the way, but by the time the pressure stabilizes, heat conduction catches up with the expansion. You're back to room temperature. It's all good. All the energy during the expansion directly balances with heat absorbed. Reverse the process. That's a Carnot cycle, and that's the best it ever gets. Now, is our exam scheduled for Monday or Tuesday?
Not sure.
I think it's in the schedule for Tuesday. Is that, I mean, that's, I think, the normal time, that's standard.
Well, PCC has it for Thursday. Your syllabus says Tuesday. I don't really care, you know, but it's up to
If
everyone.
we have it Thursday, I would like to extend the invitation to do some more problems. Because now, we've only looked at two possible combinations in one system. There's just so many of these. And it's just practice. The worksheets and the homework stuff can continue to add to practice to that. I'm not trying to keep you here, but if you want, if we want to run the exam on Thursday,
I would much prefer Tuesday.
but if you want it on Tuesday, tell you what, this will add an extra burden, I guess. I'll have the test available to take on Tuesday, but I will have a review session on Tuesday for those that want it, and you can take it on Thursday. Okay, so for those that it's convenient to have it on Tuesday, I really, really hate not having my labs to spend more time with you on this, and I don't know what Gregory talks about with you, and I have complete confidence in him. I just don't want something like you. But I have no problem with really taking your pick Tuesday or Thursday how you want to do it, but I really would like more time with you. Alternatively, it's in the syllabus, our covenant is Tuesday. I can spend time with you on Monday if you have the time, but I would like to spend more time with you. This is just my time. I would like to do that. Okay. So, is that proposition reasonable? Review on
Yes.
Tuesday, exam on Thursday. If it's not, and if it feels unfair because it might be better if you've scheduled it for Tuesday, then we can just have it on Tuesday and we'll have a review on Monday. Not trying to make this more complicated. I just want to give you as much as I can, if that makes sense.
A review on Monday.
Well, you have to come. You have to figure out a way to come in. We'll find a room and some time.
I don't know if I can do that.
I'll already be here for other classes.
Yeah, not gonna do that.
So show of hands. We'll have to make a discretionary decision. Who just wants to keep it on Tuesday? I don't want to put a. Okay, two. Is it
That's
okay
fine.
to take it on Tuesday, knowing that they may get a review?
I would like to be involved in the review also.
Anybody? Can you be around Friday, tomorrow?
Yes.
After,
After
say,
lab.
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock? Give you time to have your lab and then decompress.
Oh, after class. Oh,
After class, yeah.
Oh, yeah, after class. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have the exam on Tuesday. I will be here on Friday.
Okay.
You guys will have lab in the morning. I'll be here in the afternoon. Okay? If nobody's here by 2 o'clock, I may just cut my losses and go. But if you're here, I will gladly.
Tomorrow, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and I think the whole room's open, so we can just work on just probably talk about it. And do the worksheet problems and just ask questions. It's intuition, it's just practice.
Okay,
These
yeah,
are
that'll
chord
work.
progressions and jazz. You just gotta see it. Okay, so I'll let you guys go, because I know you got other things to do. And actually, I got a meeting at noon, but you guys are more important than that, so.
Oh.
But,
Yep.
yeah, just.
More